Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
We are shitting and raring to go here today.
Somewhat.
Welcome to Frisky, Biscuit, the podcast that's all about interesting stuff. Motorhoming, RVing, camping, trucking, food trucking, a little bit of everything, but also just good old information. I'm Dr. G, and this is my cohort.
I'm Lisa.
And we're here to entertain you for a few minutes and give you some information you probably never heard existed. Today, we got information that is far, far out. It's information that, do we need to know it? Not really, but boy, it's really interesting. So let's get rolling here. What is electric cars are always in the news, and electric cars, there's big controversies about not being able to charge them in California now and all kinds of crazy stuff. They're pushing us to electric cars, and then now they're telling us we can't charge them. So you got some stuff on electric cars today that's kind of interesting. So what do you got?
Yeah, I thought we'd talk about hidden today, like hidden costs, hidden treasures, everything hidden from what you see. So I thought we'd start with just the hidden cost of electric cars, because we're looking at possibly purchasing an electric car on down the road. And I thought I'd look into it of what are the costs of the cars. There's a lot of hidden costs. First, there's a higher purchase price. Like if you go out and buy a 150 Ford truck, you're going to pay a certain price. Well, the electric cars are even more expensive.
I think people have noticed that, like the new electric Ford Lightning that's just fast as hell, but boy, is it expensive.
Yeah, they're an average of $10,000 more than you find in your regular gas and diesel cars. There's also your registration fees. Sorry, my voice, my lips are just not working yet today.
One more cup of coffee.
I know. You can buy me a cup of coffee if you want on our website, frisky-biscuit.com. Anyway, registration fees, because our registration fees in most states, I think all states, pay for the roads and the bridges and the infrastructure. With electric cars, you're not getting that. So they can charge anywhere from $50 to $200 every year if you have an electric car in your registration fee. So you're not only paying more for your car, you're paying more for your fees. And then, one fallacy that people don't really talk about is, okay, they say you don't have to pay for gas on the road.
Oh, right.
You have to pay for charging.
They're always going to pay for something, right?
You're paying for charging. Every time, if you have a Tesla car, every time you go to a Tesla station, you're paying to charge your card. You have a number that it actually goes to your bank account and goes to your car. Okay, so here it is. 4 to 6 cents per mile, from 39 to 79 cents per kilowatt, depending on where you charge your car. And if you charge it at your house, right, you're using electricity, you're still using some type of fuel source, whether it be gas, diesel, or electricity. So
I'm sorry.
You're still paying for it.
I just got to get in here, because one of the things people, when they've bought electric cars, somehow they think that, wow, we're going to eliminate the buying gas and the price of fuel. And, starting out, electric cars seemed like they were a little bit less expensive, or you wouldn't have to pay for gas. But I just watched a little number on YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube because, we can learn everything there. And they took actually one of the brand new electric Hummers, which we have ordered. Mm-hmm. And it was $80 to fill it up with power. Mm-hmm. And guess how much it costs for gas? $80. So you're not getting away with anything. And is it more efficient? It's faster. It's probably cleaner to a point. We look at the manufacturing and the batteries and what these lithium-ion batteries take to make, and how do you get rid of them? You can't. So there's a lot of stuff that's out there on this electric stuff that in my own personal opinion, I don't think electric cars are the future.
You think we're going to pivot and
I think it's going to be hydrogen. I think hydrogen is going to be the key. And I think we got Toyota and BMW coming out with a hydrogen automobile here very shortly now. and they're getting it somewhat perfected. The biggest problem with hydrogen is the cost per gallon compared to a gas. So once they
and
break
I bet there's
that
not
barrier,
too many stations, right? The
not
stations right now
No.
are in
California's
California.
got a couple, but
Yeah.
it's a long ways to go fill up. So we're not quite there yet. But I'm not so sure electricity is going to be the answer. I think it's a cool and like it. However, with the green energy movement, they're wanting to tear dams down and get rid of what's generating power and not build any nuclear. Electricity is going to become a commodity, just like water and everything else. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to be that easy to get.
Oh, it'll be interesting. The next 10 years we're really lucky to live on this planet right now. It's just
pretty interesting.
Everything is just a big pivot, right? Where are we going? What avenue are we going on? So a few other things that I found with the electric cars that are hidden cost, is unlocking the add-ons is one of them. Tesla, you buy your base car, but if you want to unlock the self-driving feature, it's $10,000 to unlock it. So if you're buying one of these electric cars, you may want to negotiate some of those add-ons to not actually have to keep paying, because they're always upgrading, right? They're always giving you extras. However, it is going to cost you. There are hidden costs.
Self-driving cars, what possibly could go wrong?
Oh, they say they're more efficient, though, driving than we are.
Until they get confused at an intersection like down in San Francisco, where all of them came to a stop at one intersection and create gridlock.
Yeah. We did that on a podcast a few podcasts back. There's also a lot of repair cost. If you take your electric car in, your cost to repair your Tesla or your other type of electric car is going to be more expensive. And do they work on electric cars? Not all garages do. They're so new. So if you're not in a metropolitan area, say you're out in, I don't know, South Dakota or somewhere that is fairly rural, good luck on getting your car repaired. And then your home charging stations, just to set up. It's about $1,500 to put an EV charger at your own home. And it's really, you have to do that. If you are relying on anywhere else all the time, you may be out of luck. In LA, you have long lines. So that's one thing they don't talk about is hidden cost to your time. What's your time worth? The more expansive you get and the more busy that you get, your time is worth a lot. So that's not, something that everybody talks about is the charging time. It can take anywhere from 30 minutes to 12 hours, depending if it's a fast charger or a slow charger. They also have some temperature issues that are hidden that they don't really talk about. If you're living in a really cold climate where it snows, what about batteries and cold? It just doesn't go together.
It doesn't
right?
go together. And the lithium ion does not like to charge when it's below freezing.
Yeah, it can actually ruin the battery.
It can. Yeah, we've had that experience with our motorhome. It almost ruined our lithium ion batteries because we were attempting to charge it below 36 degrees. So that's not even that cold. But they're just little things like that. Also, a lot of these electric cars have burned up out on the road from the battery shorting out or overheating. So they've had some problems. But, gas cars have the same problem. They start on fire. I had a car burned down. It was fuel injected. So, cars are cars and they're going to fail. So the electric cars, I think the word we're wanting to put out there is if you're thinking about buying one, just do your due diligence and really check it out. Look at the safety record of it and look at the manufacturing record of it. How long have they built that particular car? And if it's like the first year, there could be some bugs in it, wiring bugs, all kinds of bugs. It's always a good idea to buy the second model year of a new model. So.
And plan on about 10 years of your battery life. That's about what.
All right.
That's one thing about the diesels is they last for so long. They'll last for 300,000 miles, some of them. So, I'm weighing it right now. Is this the way to go or not? Definitely not the way to go in RVing at this point. And that bridges us into our next hidden treasure we're going to talk about today is the hidden cost of RVing. For those of you that are just getting into RVing or considering RVing, what are some of those costs that you don't really think about when you buy, you get all excited and go purchase an RV? Food, yes. Well, you're constantly, you're not going to Costco and buying big bulk supplies of food, right? You're getting little bits here and there because you just don't have the storage.
Buying an RV
capacity
is definitely an eye-opener, though. You think you're going to go buy the RV and then, okay, let's go camping. But good God, when we got ours, there was another $2,000 worth of stuff we had to buy just to make it roadworthy.
Yeah.
So we could plug it in, so
and
you have hoses
and
and fill it up with water and all these, jacks and stuff like this in case something happens out there. And there's a lot of little things you got to equip it with. Of course, when you have an RV, it's also another kitchen. And so are you going to just haul stuff out of your house into the kitchen in the RV, or are you going to buy duplicate things? So
we found duplicates the easy because you always forget something, right? That one pot that you want to cook in, or the butter.
The nice thing is, though, you never forget your toilet. It's always with you.
That's right. And your bed.
The single advantage of having an RV is you're taking your toilet with you.
Another thing they don't tell you about that we were kind of shocked at is our taxes. When you purchase something, you're paying tax, right? So they say, okay, your RV is going to cost you $75,000. However, depending on what state you're in, you're also going to pay tax on it. Like ours is 6%. So we pay 6% of our purchase price, and everybody does. And then your insurance, right? You got to have insurance on it. So one way to do this is to bundle, right? If you have a house, bundle your house and bundle your vehicles along with your RV, and it's a different type of insurance. So we actually changed insurance companies to bundle our RV into our other commodities that we had. And then, of course, your fuel cost. I mean, we all talk about that. And you can get discount cards like Gas Buddy. We don't necessarily use that as a discount so much but we use it.
It does add up, though.
It does, little bits here and there. However, we use it to find the least expensive gas in our area.
I love that. It works really well for that, too.
And we found up to 50 cents per gallon change, and we didn't have to go that far. So that's one thing you can use on your fuel. Your electricity and your supplies along the way, and your dumping. What I suggest you do is when you're at an RV park, double check. If you only have a little bit in your tank, go ahead and dump anyway, so you're not paying that $5 or $10 along the road to dump when you are completely chock full. And then what's the cost of electricity in the campgrounds? A lot of times the campgrounds are now charging extra for electricity, so you can check that out before.
Boy, that's like one of the new things they're doing now. They're going to sneak that in on us. They're going to start metering these power posts and charging for the power using. That's another beauty of having lithium ion. Really, when you stop and think about it, this last year when we've gone out, we really haven't had to plug in.
No.
We have out of convenience, just to top off the batteries, but we can go forever without ever charging now with the solar that's constantly charging the lithium ion. And that stuff, those things last so long. They hold so much power. It's pretty amazing.
And for me, I feel like I stay more in the moment because I'm more mindful of how much water I'm using, how much electricity or charge that I'm using, and I'm always looking at it and being more mindful of my day-to-day operations. Where at the house, I just jump in the shower and I stay as long as I want.
And then bitch about the power bill and the water bill when it comes.
No.
Yes. You just went through that yesterday.
Actually, our last power bill was about double. It was really high. Okay, I bitch a little bit.
Are we digressing?
All right, so another thing hidden, your tow vehicle. It takes a lot to expense to maintain your tow vehicle and actually pull it. So you're using extra fuel, you're using extra everything to use your tow vehicle. There's toll charges in the East Coast. If you're from the West Coast, we're not used to toll charges out here.
Just a footnote on that tow vehicle thing. Also, all vehicles cannot be towed. A lot of people think they're just going to tow their car, and you got to check on that. And also, all tow bars and tow mechanisms are not born the same. So there's that. That's a whole nother can of worms to be thinking about if you're going to buy a motorhome and want to tow a car. There's a reason you see Jeeps behind all these motorhomes, I find out, because they're so towable. That's why they're buying the Jeeps. But not all cars can be towed, and there's a lot into that. So you want to check that out if you're thinking about buying a motorhome and towing your car. Very possibly it cannot be towed.
Yeah. You have to put it on a little tow something, huh? A carriage?
Well, either that or a trailer. Yeah, a little carriage or a trailer or something.
All right, one last one. What do you think it is?
I have not a clue. You're always surprising me.
Storage.
Storage.
Well, yeah,
yes.
We were shocked at the cost of storage,
especially
overhead storage that's inside, where you have a door and walls and an overhead to it, which is the best way to store your vehicle, at least something to cover the top of it. So that's something to think about. If you can't store it at your house, what are your storage costs? So just wanted to give you some food for thought. If you're thinking about buying an RV or any type of vehicle to go camping in, look at the cost before you do, so you know what you're getting into.
One of the things on storing, just a footnote on that, is protect your roof. Like we live in Idaho, and we do get snow, and we get a lot of hot weather here and a lot of cold weather. And a lot of people just store their RVs outside, and that roof is out there year-round taking a beating. And sometimes the cost to protect that is a nice storage facility like the one we've got, where it's actually totally enclosed with a big garage door. And it's expensive, but it is better because it's protected from the weather in the summer and in the winter. So the only time ours is ever exposed is when we're using it. Mm-hmm. And that does make a difference. But so buying the RV is a lot of fun, and that goes for fifth wheels and trailers as well. Those roofs are the Achilles heel, I guess, of these RVs. And that's the first thing that seems to go is an abused roof. Mm-hmm, so anyway, enough of that.
All right. Well,
and I know a lot about abused roofs. Look at here.
Yeah.
I didn't protect it enough, I guess.
Well, that's what hats are for. All right. So we can go one of two ways. We could talk about our interview that we had this week. We have a special interview for you coming up.
Well, that's right. We didn't mention that right in the beginning of this, of Brian Moore, who's kind of an interesting guy. We got to know this guy, and he actually was our neighbor one time, and he is like an enterprising dude. I'm telling you what, this guy is going to be watched, and pay attention to the name, because you're going to be hearing about him. He's going to be in the news. He's going to do some big stuff. And so we got to interview him.
Well, and what I love about Brian, not only who he is and his heart and how he's really put together this nonprofit for himself and for the world, it's kind of hidden what he's done too. A lot of us are out there saying, not so much us, but I see it in YouTube a lot, is how can I work on the road, travel, take my laptop, sit on the beach, and get paid for it, right? And be that traveling type of salesperson. Well, Brian did the opposite, right? He decided after years of being on the road and traveling and being in sales, hey, I want a career with a company. So he did the opposite, and he's so happy. So it was just a real treasure, Brian. Thank you for coming on our show today.
Yep. So we're going to go to Brian Moore. This is Lisa talking to Brian, and he's an interesting guy, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. So here's Brian Moore.
Hi, we're back at Frisky Biscuit Podcast, and today we have a special treat for you. We have Brian Moore. Brian went from being the road warrior to the project manager. You know, most people these days are going, hey, I want to get out of my job, I want to buy an RV, and I want to get on the road and sit by the beachside with my computer and do all my work. Well, this is just the opposite. So, Brian, thank you for coming on today.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate this. Look forward to this.
So tell us a little bit about how this took place. For years, you were on the road traveling as a road warrior in sales. Is that right?
That's correct. I done maintenance for over 30 years, realized it's hard on my body, and I had the opportunity to go to sales, which for a big industrial that sold the parts I worked on for bigger companies, and I'm a people kind of guy, so I've always wanted to do sales. I did it, achieved it, I enjoyed it. I think first year, $3.8 million in sales, and I just enjoy people, so it really enjoyed it.
Now, what made you decide to make this transition from having all this freedom out on the road? Because you hear from most people, that's what they want, right? They want the freedom of being free, working on the computer, not having a boss per se. And you did the opposite. So what triggered that?
Well, the company as I was going to, doing the work for, helping them get the supplies and parts and working with them on projects, offered me a position. First I said no, and then we talked about it, so signed on the dotted line. So now I work for them, and I deal with a lot of people I still know. They're like family, work on big projects, get involved, and I get to sit and relax. So it's a change and a better change for me.
So is there anything you miss about being out on the road?
Freedom. Come and go as you want. Friday's done it too. I get to go home or whatever, but I still get freedom here, but it kind of equals itself out, I think. It really does.
So you had freedom on the road. What did you change that in for, being in a company setting?
A career. There's a difference.
What's the difference?
Well, when you do sales, obviously, you work on commission. That's hard. Everybody's heard it. And I got to buy my kids shoes this week, So having a career, knowing it's your stable job and it's a lifetime, it just changed a lot. There's stress. You get rid of stress real fast that way.
Okay, and when you were out on the road, what can you tell our listeners that you really learned about those years of being in sales, driving around all day? I'm sure you listened to the Frisky Biscuit podcast at some point, although we weren't up and running yet. What did you take away from that? Like, what can you tell our listeners that you've learned from that you brought to this new career?
Well, I had to deal with a lot of different companies. I walk into doors I've never been into, but I'm a people's guy. So as far as I take how you approach people is what you get out of people. People that are good people in this world of ours, and I've got a lot of friends I still keep in touch with after all those 3.5 years. So I want to say friendship.
Oh, that's great. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like, where do you see yourself progressing with this? Because it's something that's, to me, it's very different. It's like all I hear from people is, I want to get out on the road. And here I've already been out on the road. I love what I'm doing now.
5 years, that's a long time. That's a lot of,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things I could say, but we'll just keep it on the low side here.
We'll keep it clean.
Absolutely. Today we'd have to. 5 years, every year I'll get successful. Every day I get successful. Like I said, I love my career. I'll always be there. But I got lots of other plans going on and other things happening. And it's a desire of what I want to do and how I want to get there and the goals I want to achieve.
Very nice. Well, let's change it. What's your favorite pastime? Like, what do you do on the side, just for fun? Because I know there's one thing you do that we talked about that I think our audience would really appreciate.
We'll keep this clean too. My muscle car. I've had this thing since 1980. It's a 74 GTO. It's pretty rare. It's a full restoration right now with custom on it. So that's my go-to thing of relaxing in a zen. I really enjoy it.
Oh, nice. So you're completely remodeling and restoring it.
From the ground up, the frame up.
Really?
Yeah.
And what does that take to do that? Besides money.
And time. You gotta have time. Well, I'm a fabricator. I've worked with my hands as far as maintenance and stuff. I enjoy working on old muscle cars. I mean, this thing's in all, I couldn't how many pieces, and I can put it back together right now. But we're doing it right this time, and it's just knowledge. It's my desire. So I took interest in it from when I was a kid and learning, and to where I'm at today.
Nice. Now I'm looking at your hat as we're talking, and it says peace all around. And I know we talked a little bit about this. This is your organization that you put together.
Yes.
Tell us how you came up with this and what Peace All Around is all about and what you plan to do with it.
That's a good question. I mean, I think everything that we have in our future, obviously, reveals from our past. And, pretty rough past. We all have stories, like a belly button. We all got one. And mine starting in the hospital as a child, finally getting to school in high school, peer pressure, doing things you didn't think you'd end up doing, getting out of that, and getting married and having children. So it was important to me my children don't go through what I went through, as well as their friends. So we talked about where peace came from up above. We're given peace. We're given life. Now it's up to us to be good, respectful, and kind of give peace back. And that's where the peace up, peace down, peace all around came from. Shared it with all the kids, families, everything. And I started, deciding to put this on shirts. And with that being said, we got a website, peaceallaround.com. And what I do is I've joined charities, No Kids Go Hungry, Voices for Violence, Tiny Pine Homes, Sleeping Heavenly Peace, etc. Because I want to give back to our country, and we all pitch in. We can do so much for each other in this country of ours, and it's needed more now than it is back then.
So with Peace All Around, you take donations. How is it gaining momentum? I know that it's just in the beginning stages and it's starting to gain momentum. So you actually take donations, and then you take those donations and you partner with other groups. Explain a little bit about that.
Yeah, as far as Peace All Around, my goal was to sell our products and give all the proceeds to, like I said, No Kids Go Hungry. I definitely want to start in our Idaho. It's our country. It's where we live, and I definitely want to start pursuing it there. But it's just all about working with organizations you see on the TV all the time that need fundraisers. And I want these people to not only just buy a shirt, but knowing they're wearing that shirt, and they help this family feed 120 meals to their kids. Because it's very important that we all give back. When someone's down, the only time we look down at them is when we lift them up. So it's all important for me to spread the peace one shirt at a time and help our country.
And you said you're starting a podcast on Peace All Around. So where do you see that going? Are you going to interview people? What's your podcast going to be like?
Well, I'm already working with the sheriff's department to put decals on all their rigs and go into schools and start talking to the children. Because I want these children to tell a story in 5 years they'd be proud of. And they're the only ones that are going to write their book. No one else will. So I want to encourage them to succeed and start now. If you wait 10 years thinking you're having fun with your friends, it's going to be harder to hit your success because you should have started earlier. So that's my goal with podcasts, to get it out there, help kids, have interviews with kids from school, the police department, sheriff, etc. We all got a story to tell, like I said. Whether it's good or bad, we all want to hear it. And let's just help each other move forward in life.
So you're going to talk to the kids and hear their stories.
Absolutely. I love hearing. I love listening. It's probably one of my best features I have, listening. That's a good thing to have.
Yes, it is. Well, is there anything else that you can share, and maybe say your website again so people can get in touch with you and pick up a shirt or a hat or one of your things that you have for sale?
Absolutely. Just go to peaceallaround.com. Down below information. If y'all are interested in joining, whether it's a company you have to get involved, charities, etc., or if you just want to order something, just go ahead, do what you need to do on there. We get everything to you, and then let you know that all the proceeds go to helping people in our country. So I'm excited to build this and go far with it.
Oh, that sounds great. Well, thank you so much for coming on Frisky Biscuit Podcast today. We look forward to your progress, and I look forward to having you on again in the next year or so and to give an update.
Absolutely. I appreciate y'all, and thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Brian. We really appreciate your time and your positive energy talking about Peace All Around. And I encourage all of you to check him out at that website he mentioned.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to just touch base on that I love that he said is we all have a story, right? Everybody has a story of their life. So
mine's one you don't want to know about.
Hey, if you want to share your story, let us know. Give us some comments, too, on our YouTube channel, Frisky Biscuit Podcast. We would love to hear from you, and we really appreciate those comments that have been coming in, too, on our website, frisky-biscuit.com. It's really fun.
And do you have a sticker on your car?
Yes.
It's time to put a sticker on your car. Well, whether it's your camera, show that.
Frisky Biscuit
How do they get one of those
Road
stickers
Warrior.
for their car? And they're actually not stickers, they're static cling.
I know. They just come right
What's
off
that all
and stick
about
right
anyway?
on.
People have asked us.
Well, if you travel on the road, if you drive on the road, if you're on the road, you are considered a road warrior. So you are liable to have one of these stickers. You can either find us in person, or you can contact us through YouTube, through our website, or I suppose that's or through Spotify and our podcast channels.
What is our website?
Frisky-biscuit.com. So just Frisky, and you put a little dash in between.
Does Brian have one of these on his truck? His brand new, beautiful Dodge truck?
You know, I don't know.
You have to check him out.
Yes.
He was on our podcast, and he better have a sticker on his truck.
It's fun driving around and seeing them.
All right, what else we have?
Well, let's
that's of
talk
interest of all these people.
About some more hidden gems, and these are just some
More
fun
hidden hacks you don't even know about.
These are the hidden uses of toothpaste. I know it sounds funny, but what I did is I found 3 different genres that you carry along with you while you're driving on the road, while you're RVing, while you're out there camping, that you already have that you can use. So, toothpaste. I
got to say, this thing that you came up with, the toothpaste, it actually is pretty amazing. You know, some of the stuff you're going to mention here. Listen to this, because this is fascinating. I had no idea you could do this stuff with toothpaste.
I know, I didn't either. I mean, I've heard a little things over time, but did you know that if you're cutting up onions and garlic and you get odor, especially under your fingernails, you can actually take toothpaste on like a nail brush and brush it away, and it will completely take the odor away, and it will actually kind of sanitize your hands as well, because that's what it does with your teeth, right? And you can deodorize containers, especially if you have like a thermos or any type of plasticware. It'll take the odor out of that container. So that's always a good one, because like coffee mugs, it'll take the rings and the coffee out of the coffee mug. So that's really a good use of the toothpaste that I knew about, but I didn't really utilize it so much. It also shines all your features, like anything that's aluminum, anything that's shiny. Toothpaste, if you don't want to use it directly out of the tube, but put it on a cloth and put some water on it, and it will just shine everything right up. It's
like your teeth.
Cool. Exactly. It does have a little abrasive depending on the type of toothpaste you have, so you've got to be careful about that. If you have vinyl floors, which most of us do in our rigs, and even maybe in your home, it'll take all the scuffs out of your vinyl flooring.
Toothpaste.
Toothpaste.
So you're getting down on the floor with the toothbrush and scrubbing your floor.
Pretty much, or cloth. And leather, too. Anything that's leather, it'll take the scuffs out of leather. So I just love it. It's like it'll perk up your tennis shoes, and it makes things clean.
By the way, Lisa's tennis shoes. I don't know how she does it. She's got this closet full of shoes, and you cannot tell any one of them have ever been worn. You take better care of your shoes than anything I've ever seen in my life. They all look new. Do you use toothpaste?
I have used toothpaste, yes.
So you knew about this.
I did on my tennis shoes.
You knew about this. See?
Yeah.
I'm starting to figure this out now.
And I'm very cautious where I step. Like, I don't step in a lot of dirt.
That's
or if I
my,
do, I use my dark-colored shoes.
It's definitely been one of my problems, where I step.
And, the other thing of toothpaste, if you have any kind of grimy glass, it will shine up your glass, like your shower doors or any of your windows or your mirrors. Toothpaste is great for that. It also, I've used this before and it works really well. If you have a bug bite and you put toothpaste on it, it'll help stop the itching. And if you have any type of any blemishes on your skin, on your face, if you put it on overnight, it'll take that stuff that's in your face away, like the
skin.
No, like a pimple. It'll take the pimple away overnight.
Never had that problem.
And the last one is if you're going swimming and your goggles are blurry, or if you have a blurry headlight on your vehicle, toothpaste, again, put it on a cloth with a bit of water on it. it'll shine that.
You're talking
right
about the
up.
foggy headlights. That actually works.
It does, yeah. And it kind of it cleans it up and gives a little bit of a coating on it too. And your goggles,
And
it's
your
really
headlights
good on
will
your goggles.
never get decayed.
That's true. You want to take it to
I
the
think
dentist.
that our neighbor dentist next door will love this. He has a whole new marketing approach for toothpaste in his office.
Yeah, if you have any other ideas for toothpaste you've used, let us know. Especially if you're a dentist or work in the dental hygiene area.
Yeah, toothpaste. I had no idea.
So that's one thing you have. Another thing that most people travel with is aspirin. And there's some real hidden gems that you can use for aspirin. One is an insect bite. It'll take the sting out. So what you do is you can take it internally, but you can also crush it up and make it into a paste and put it on your bug bites, and it will take the sting out of it. So if you've got toothpaste or aspirin, it's a great thing for bug bites. They also say it treats discolored hair. So, when you're camping, especially the new glampers that are out there, 50% of people that they say out camping are millennials and they love to glamp. So more and more areas are making pools. And in pools, they put chlorine. And chlorine can discolor your hair. And if you swim enough, it'll make it green.
That's what happened to mine.
It actually took
Too
yours
much
away.
chlorine, just date it right off.
So if you put some warm water, you put 6 or 7 aspirin and put it in warm water and rinse it through your hair, it'll take the chlorine out. It takes about 15 minutes. You want to soak it into your hair and let it sit on your hair, but it'll actually take the chlorine out of your hair or any type of agent that you've gotten in your hair. And most people have heard of this. It's a hangover remedy. So if you're a drinker out there and the next morning you're feeling like crap, aspirin's a good one to do. Especially if you combine it with tea or coffee, they say.
We now have hangover solutions at Frisky Biscuits.
That's right.
Yes.
We don't even drink. It can revive your dead battery in a car.
An aspirin?
Yep.
I got to hear about this.
They say if you've I'll read it to you. If you've unhooked a tow vehicle from your motorhome only to discover your battery's dead, don't despair. Aspirin can help. Dun, dun, dun. Drop 2 aspirin into the battery cell. The battery's sulfuric acid will react with the aspirin to create a charge. It should be enough to jumpstart the battery and enable you to drive to the nearest gas station or auto parts
So that's
store.
like a lead acid battery. Yeah. Never heard that one.
Yeah, I bet it wouldn't work on the solar.
Never lithium ion or these new batteries, AGM. Or
It'll also remove rust. Aspirin will. So if you have any rust, you just like on your razor or anything on your RV, you just dampen it with water and you squish the aspirin up and you crush it up and you put it on the stain, and after about 10 minutes you just wipe the rust away.
Wow, between aspirin and toothpaste, we have solved every RV problem known to man.
Almost. So you have a third one that's also really cool that everybody has in their RV.
Of course you do.
Yeah, it is a kitchen sponge. And we go to Walmart or we go to Costco and we get those bunches of sponges. Usually you have more than one sponge. So, hey, if you bump your head or your hand, which we all do, it all happens. If you take your sponge, get it wet, put it in the freezer, and just keep one in there and wrap it in a towel, it's way better than ice because it stays cold. It's like a big, huge ice cube, but it keeps it together. And you just put it in a freezer bag, stick it in your freezer, and it's small. So that's one hidden treasure and use of a sponge. You also, those of you, a lot of people are traveling with their pets these days.
You think? I think we're the only two that don't have a pet.
I know.
I swear.
Well, if you take a dry sponge and use it on your RV furniture, it'll remove the pet hair. So you just rub it over the fabric and it will attract the fur. So it's a great way to take the hair out of your RV.
That might
off your
work really well in
furniture.
our motorhome, just for your hair that falls everywhere.
I have so much
Lisa's
hair.
kind of like having a pet.
Yes, I am. And this is a new one. I didn't know this. You can use it in your RV crisper. It absorbs the moisture of your vegetables, and it keeps them nice and crisp. So use it in your crisper. Also, I've seen a lot of you on YouTube. You have little plants. Well, it's great for your garden. You know, you can dampen the sponge and use it to put your seeds in. You know, it sprouts the seeds in no time because it stays moist, right? Your sponge is like a moisture just to sprout everything in. And if you've got a toothache, this is a new one that I
Shove a
didn't know
sponge
either.
in there.
Yeah, you take a small piece of it, you put some vanilla extract or whiskey, and you can put it on inside your mouth on your tooth.
Like a little piece of sponge.
Yeah.
Our dentist
it
friend next door,
absorbs.
I'd like to know what he thinks about that.
Yeah, let us know. I mean, I'm reading these and found these on the internet. I haven't used that one. I hope I never have to use that one. You can also use it as a fly repellent. If you use a cup of water
man,
and
not this-
vinegar and baking soda
This time of year.
and a little bit of dish soap, and you dip the sponge in the mix, and you squeeze out the liquid, you just wipe down your picnic table, and the flies should not bother you.
Oh, let's work on that today.
Yeah, so again, that's water, vinegar, baking soda, and a couple drops of dish soap. And the last one, it takes pills off your sweater. You know, you can just, after a while, you get those little pills. A sponge will do that for you. So that's what I got hidden for you today.
What an informative program.
Yes.
Toothpaste, aspirins, and sponges. And electric cars.
And Brian.
And Brian. There you go. Another award-winning Frisky Biscuit show brought to you by Lisa and Dr. G. And one more time, give them an idea. By the way, did you know that if I have a new thing on TikTok?
You do?
I'm on TikTok
What's it under?
now.
Like, how do you find you?
Dr. Gary Daniel, TikTok. But here's the thing. They're giving away a new Mercedes Sprinter van if you sign up for TikTok. I was going to say you can win a new TikTok van if you sign up for me, but that's not what it is. Plagiarize their whole promotion. But anyway, I'm on TikTok now, and I don't know how that's going to go. Don't know much about it, but I've been playing around with it. So check that out. Also, they can find us at our website,
Frisky-biscuit.com, and let us know. We'll send you the Road Warrior sticker for your vehicle.
We want you to comment. You know, we've been getting a few comments, but we want more of them. We like your feedback, and it really helps us to kind of put this stuff together. And content is king, and our content, we want to improve upon it and make it even more interesting. So we do like some of the comments we're getting and some of the interesting things we're coming up with. Lisa's done a great job in researching this crazy stuff. It's not that easy to find. So if you have some ideas, let us know, and let us know how we're doing. And until next week, we're wanting you to have a really, really safe week.
Absolutely.
And know that we love each and every one of you and appreciate you a lot. And remember, we're all in this together, so keep yourself from getting discouraged. Things are going to improve if you focus on improving.
And enjoy traveling in the fall. This is my favorite time of year, so
beautiful.
I trust you're still out there and you're not in mothballs yet.
Not yet. So till next time, Dr. G.
And Lisa.
Bye-bye.